When listening to other cinematographers, especially here on YouTube, they often talk about all the fun stuff. The newest cameras, the newest sensors, the newest lenses. I mean, I'm guilty of this as well. But after shooting my first short film, I've come to realise something. It's all in the prep work. Obviously, everything I just mentioned is still really important as a cinematographer and fun to talk about. I talk about it as well. But let's not forget the fundamentals about being a cinematographer, which is the pre-production work. So in this video, I'm going to break down my pre-production steps when it comes to planning a production, and more specifically, planning for my short film. A lot of people think that pre-production for a cinematographer starts with the locations. It doesn't. It starts with the script breakdown. A script breakdown is essentially breaking down the script. You're getting every single topic that's mentioned specifically in the script, like props, costume, and in our case, location. Finding those specific keywords in a script in regards to location is really, really important as a cinematographer. What is it that the writer or director is looking for within these locations before you start scouting? Now, this is a script that I've written and directed myself, so I know what I'm looking for. But as a cinematographer, you will often get scripts and you will have to interpret them from other writers and other directors. And it's in this case that you will then need to ask questions and find those specific details within the script. If you look at my script, for example, it says Phoebe is watching TV. And later on in the scene, it says that Charlie and Phoebe are standing in the middle of the room, TV still on. This is a great example because you can see that the writer, aka me, has specifically written a TV into that location and into that scene. And again, it helps you as a cinematographer because you now know, okay, that's where the motivation of the light is going to come from, is that TV. Therefore, I don't have to worry about practical lamps and things like that for motivators. Now, it might seem obvious, but without a understanding of the overall script, you will fall flat as a cinematographer. It all starts with every single person involved in the film. It all starts with the script. Everybody needs to understand what the script is and what the film is going to be. When it comes to scouting locations, this is something often overlooked. And myself included, we have this attitude of, oh, we'll figure it out when we're there. This simply never works. Now, I have an app called Cadrage, which is French for framing, I think, which is pretty cool. But basically what this app does, it gives me a lot of tools when it comes to location scouting. It does things like saving your location, you can set what camera that you're using, and it has a long list of different cameras that you can choose from. You can set what lenses you're going to be using, so that when you do export the PDF with all of your shots in it, it specifies what exactly you're going to be using on the day. As you can see, this makes location scouting more convenient because now essentially what you can do is create a shot list and a storyboard based on the location scout. So if you do choose to opt in for that location, the storyboard is pretty much done and you can see the limitations within that location. Now, obviously this video is not sponsored by this app, but it is a very, very good tool to use, and it's something that I am using a lot more of, especially when it comes to location scouting. Essentially, you've marked off two things at once, the storyboard and the location scout. The app is around £20, which I think is quite expensive for an app, but if you are doing location scouts over and over again, it is a must-have, especially if you're a cinematographer. It also gives you an extra layer of communication with your crew and with the director because you can show them the sequence, you can show them how the scene is going to play out. Now, in my opinion, there are 5 factors to consider when it comes to location scouting, and that's power, audio, space, accessibility, and lighting. Sometimes you can't just rely on apps to do your storyboarding. And I know that a lot of cinematographers and directors don't necessarily need or use storyboards, but for me and my workflow, I really like a good storyboard to follow as I'm shooting. To create my storyboards, I use Keynote, which is obviously free if you're a Mac user, and I use the objects or symbols that they have within Keynote to create these storyboards. Nothing too fancy, nothing too descriptive, just a rough outline of the storyboards and what the scene is going to be once it's edited together. It allows the actors and director to see the sequence that we're aiming to shoot. And again, it gives like another level of communication with your crew and with the director on what sequence you're trying to achieve. Having a storyboard is great, and it's great to see visually how the scene is going to play out in the edit. However, it's not extremely practical. What is practical is what we call a shot list. Essentially, a shot list is the same as a storyboard, but instead of the order of the edit, it's the order of shooting. It's a shooting order. And it allows you as a cinematographer to have more technical details on that shot list by adding the movement of the camera. Is it static? Is it handheld? Is it on a gimbal? The lenses that you're going to have for that shot, and being able to write your notes on each individual shot is incredibly useful. And in my opinion, once the shot list is done, it allows you to then be more creative with the shots, because you know that the fundamentals and the essentially what you need for the scene is complete. And as long as that's ticked off, that's when you can then start being creative and you can start exploring different shots, in my opinion. Everything we've just spoken about is vital for this next pre-production document, which is of course lighting plans. Now, to create these lighting plans, I use assets from filmobjects.com. And with filmobjects.com, you have a large variety of different objects to use. All different ranges of lights, stands, cameras, tripods, rigs. So there is no limitation on how creative you can be. In my opinion, I think you should add as much detail as you can within these lighting plans. Add, what color temperature you're going to be using. Add what is the motivator for this light, the TV, for example. Include that in the lighting plans. Add the actors in, add the camera in, add the tripods in, add props in, add practical lights in, add all of these things into these lighting plans so that it just gives an overhead of the scene and gives an overhead of where these lights are going to be. Again, it's within these lighting plans is the opportunity to be creative. This is when to be creative, is within these plans, not necessarily on set because you might not have time. You've seen the location, you've seen the storyboards and the shots that the director wants to achieve. Now's the time to add the detail. This is where the hard work is included, it's within these plans. Something that I found really useful when doing these plans is one, where to put the camera, and two, where the windows are. We had a lot of night scenes within this film that we needed to shoot during the day. Therefore, knowing where to flag and where to black out these windows was an absolute must. And it was also good to know where the camera is needed to be and where it can't be. The camera couldn't aim towards this window, therefore we would have to rearrange the room and shoot this way instead. If you are lucky enough to have a gaffer with you as well, you can show them these plans and be like, here you go. Here's the lights that I want in the scene, in the shot, and the gaffer will go set that up. Instead of you having to explain where the lights are going to go, these lighting plans are all detailed and have everything on display. You can also combine these lighting plans with the shots that you took during the location scout so that everybody knows exactly what you're doing as a DP. And that's it. It's nothing too fancy, it's not rocket science, it is very time consuming, but it's not extremely hard. What is hard is not doing these lighting plans and being on location and trying to figure it out when you've only got an hour to set up. Don't get me wrong, it is very time consuming, but once you've done the work and you've put the work in during the pre-production stage, you don't have to just show up on location and be like, oh, we'll put that there, or we'll put that there, I think, we'll see how that works. Let's say it doesn't work, you've then got to rearrange. It's just not going to work, it's too much time. I've summarised and simplified all of the pre-production work a cinematographer can do in one small YouTube video. But in reality, all of this takes hours, days, weeks, months, even years, depending on how big the film is. It is very time consuming, but there is nothing worse than being on set and everyone's stressed and rushing because you didn't do the prep work. It is your responsibility as a cinematographer to put the hours in during this pre-production stage to essentially make your job as a cinematographer on the shoot day 10 times easier. By doing all of these pre-productions, you're giving yourself the opportunity to be the best cinematographer you can be. The shots and pre-production work you've been seeing throughout this video are from my short film, Promises, a short film that I've written, produced, directed, and of course shot myself. I am so excited to show you guys what we've been doing behind the scenes. There is going to be a public screening of this film in London, hopefully within this year. So make sure you subscribe and watch this space because I will be promoting release dates, public screening dates, posters, trailers, things like that. So subscribe if you want to know more about this film. And I just wanted to quickly say, if you are watching my videos and you're watching this part of the video now, you know who you are. Thank you. I really do mean that. I love the fact that more than 500 people have subscribed to my content and to watch these videos. I know that some people might say it's only 592 subscribers currently, but the fact that more than 500 people have chosen to subscribe to this channel and watch the videos, it means a lot. It really does mean a lot. So the people out there who are engaging in these videos, who are commenting, liking, subscribing, you guys know who you are. Thank you. And that's everything for this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've learned something from this video, but more importantly, I hope you've taken something away from this video that will improve your cinematography and improve your film for the next time. I will leave as many links as I can in the description below about everything we've spoken about today. If I don't hear from you, best of luck on your next production, best of luck on your next film. I wish you all the best. Guys, once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.